everyone. It has been a really busy day, but a fun day. The kids are outside playing in water toys for the first time this year, but everybody is just kind of done for the day. We all got a lot of sun and I need an easy dinner. So I'm gonna try this new recipe tonight. It's called 3-cup chicken. I will explain why it's called that a little bit more when we get upstairs and we start prepping, but basically it's just some chicken chopped up with a sauce, and then I'm gonna serve it with some rice on the side. Our rice is one of our staples that we keep in a 5-gallon bucket, and I actually keep 2 5-gallon buckets of it, so when I get a new bag I can just rotate it out and I don't have to worry about using up all of the rice in the first bucket before I have anywhere to put the next bag of rice. And this way also we never run out, because occasionally our rice goes out of stock and we don't have to worry because we've already got a backup bucket, and if it takes a few months to secure some, no big deal. I've always had great luck cooking rice on the stove. I do 1 part rice to 2 parts water. I bring it to a simmer, and then once it's simmering I lower it to low heat and put the lid on and cook it for 10 minutes, and this usually works. Next I'm going to add some wine, and it calls for a dry sherry, but I am out of almost all of my cooking wines, so those need to be restocked for sure this month. And then I'm going to add soy sauce to this, and the soy sauce we use is a really high quality soy sauce from Azure. I've learned that soy sauce can be very healthy and it can be very unhealthy depending on what the ingredients are. And then I'm going to add brown sugar. We make this ourselves, a tablespoon of molasses to 1 cup sugar. And lastly, I'm going to add this chicken. These are chicken thighs that I cut up. I love cooking with chicken thighs much more than breasts. I just feel like they are easier to cook with, they taste better, all the things. Next, I'm just going to chop up some herbs from the garden. I have a bunch of fresh green scallions here. We have so many of these coming out of the garden right now. And then I have 1/2 cup of basil, and it calls for Thai basil, and I'm not exactly sure what I have here. It's sort of a purple hue basil, and it's my understanding that Thai basil has a purple stem. Oh, and then that green one is a different one also. What I did was I got a variety pack from Azure, and my only complaint is I have absolutely no clue what any of them are, and I'm trying to guess, but it seems like none of the pictures match up perfectly, so I think that purple one could be Thai basil, but I don't know. I'm not completely sure, because there's another one out there that has purple stems but green leaves, and I don't know what to think. Now I'm going to saute up some garlic and some ginger, and I've done a little bit of adapting for this recipe because I want to use what I have on hand. We only have these garlic pucks, which have been really convenient, but this recipe wanted the garlic to just be sliced, and we just don't have fresh garlic. So I'm going to try this, and then also it wants fresh ginger. And I know some people probably swear by fresh ginger, but I very rarely use fresh ginger. I almost always sub ground, and I hardly ever notice a difference. Now, I do think that this meal came out a little bit bland today, and I am very willing to acknowledge that that might be because I did not follow the instructions to a T. But any blandness was solved pretty easily with some extra soy sauce and sesame oil and a sprinkle of sesame seeds. This recipe did want me to brown this garlic pretty dark, but this happened really, really quick. I think just since I was using this finely grated garlic puck rather than slices. So I added the chicken much earlier than the recipe called for. It said that this process should take like 8 minutes, and it was done in 1 or 2. Once the chicken was almost cooked through, I added the scallion greens, and I realized at this step that it actually did want me to have some scallion whites in there, and I don't like doing scallion whites because then I have to pull up all my scallions in the garden, but I did go back out and get at least 1 and chopped that up, including the whites, and added that in here. And this recipe, for some reason, wanted the chicken cooked to 200. I've heard of maybe 175 for chicken thighs, but 200 I thought was just overcooked. I'm not sure what the purpose of that is, but I did get this close to about 190 before I decided to just stop cooking. And the last step for this is you're supposed to add a cornstarch slurry. Honestly, I felt like there just wasn't even much cornstarch in this slurry, and I felt like it didn't do anything. So I don't know. I'm thinking that my overall impression of this meal is that it's probably a really delicious concept, and I do want to try it again, but I probably will not be following the America's Test Kitchen recipe, which I rarely say. I usually love everything by them, but I felt like this one fell short. but also I made a lot of changes, so maybe that's on me. So the rest of this process is just all off heat. The cornstarch is the last heat step, and then you add your sesame oil and your herbs, and you basically just stir it up and serve it over rice. This would be a really healthy, easy, delicious dinner idea. I just don't think that this recipe was it. So if you have a 3-cup chicken recipe, I would love to hear it and share it below, because I'm sure we would all love it. All right, have a great day.